Losing my dad last year was one of the hardest things that I ever went through. And I never imagined to be 30 years old and not have my dad anymore. I want my kids to have their grandpa, and losing my dad was hard enough, and then having to explain that to my 3 kids, that why he left this earth so early, was hard, if not harder than losing him. You know, growing up, my parents divorced when I was 6 years old. I lived with my mom most of the time, and on the weekends we would get to see my dad. And he never let on that anything was ever going on, that he had any problems. When we got to go to Dad's house, it was always fun. I just never knew in my childhood how bad things were for him. It wasn't until I was an adult and he went to rehab for the first time that I got to learn and hear how bad his childhood was, how bad his adulthood was when I was growing up. What was sad and hard to deal with was the reality of what he was going through. He used alcohol and drugs to cope. He did that for a long time. And coupled with his diabetes, that's what brought him down. So January of 2019 is when he suffered a huge heart event, and he had 40 minutes of CPR. 40 minutes. When the first phone call I got, I had committed in that moment, in that first phone call, that he was gone. And somehow, miraculously, he lived. He spent a couple months in the hospital, and they prepared us for really bad scenarios. You know, he's not gonna be the same if he even wakes up. But sure enough, he woke up, he got better, and within a month and a half was like back to normal. He was given this new chance on life. And in that moment, I thought, he has an opportunity. God is giving him an opportunity to live a different life, to be better. But very quickly, I learned that he didn't see it that way. And he went back to drinking. And 11 months later, he died. He really died. And I think to myself, why did God give him a second chance? And at first, like I said, I really thought it was for him. I believe it was for him, but it ended up to be more for me and my kids to be able to experience those last 11 months totally different than if I didn't know how bad things were. A lot happened in those 11 months that wouldn't have happened otherwise. I got to ask a lot of questions and get a lot of answers. But most importantly, I was given the opportunity to forgive him. You know, as my dad, you want this perfect father. You have this image that your dad's always perfect. And with his struggles, he wasn't. He made a lot of mistakes. And it's easy to hold that on him, to want to blame him. And I probably would have done that had I not been given that time to learn about his struggles and learn what God was doing in his life and why. So most importantly, those 11 months allowed me to forgive him. Because of the gift that God gave me, I know more than ever that I can trust in him. He showed me what he can do. And I feel blessed to have been given that gift of 11 months with him. And it hasn't been that long since he passed, but I can already see the why behind God and what he's doing. He wrote my dad's story, and it's not over. It's not done, even though he's gone. It gets to live out through me and my kids, and I get to see that. And I feel so grateful and blessed. I know I can trust in him and what he's doing for me and my life.